Alyssa gives good hugs. So.
Oh, word.
You know.
Maybe it'd be a good thing if there wasn't video talking about what the alternate storyline might be right now.
Well, this thing may or may not be uploading to the cloud.
Oh yeah. Hi.
Hi.
We're not dangerous. We just
like to talk. We should put a disclaimer if we were to ever. We would put a disclaimer saying, "Hey, nobody should listen to these conversations."
We're just bullshitting.
Nobody should listen to this.
Yeah, don't. We highly recommend you don't listen to this.
And don't believe anything that we're saying.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah. I don't know what to think. I've come up with all sorts of theories just throughout the day, but I don't look at the internet in the same way that you do in terms of conspiracy stuff. I don't seek it out. If I run across it, I will check it out.
Yeah.
But in terms of what's really going on right now,
well, who knows?
That's the thing.
Hopefully, we'll find out. So yeah. So there's about the Event 201 thing that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation did, where they were gaming a scenario in which a pandemic happened, an epidemic, a virus.
I don't know anything about it.
I thought I told you about this.
I don't remember.
Event 201. So this was a war games, if you will, that happened in October 2019. It was called Event 201. It wasn't called Agenda 21.
Okay.
It was called Event 201.
Okay.
I guess. And it was all about gaming the theory of a coronavirus, because there's a lot of them out there, of a coronavirus pandemic in the world and what would happen. And so they had like a model UN and model this, model that, and they try to game the response, and they threw these statistics and planned this whole thing out, and it was interesting that it happened so recently. But also what was happening in October were the military games. The World Military Games.
Okay.
And the World Military Games, which included dozens of different countries and their militaries, and there were athletic competitions, just like the Olympics, and they have triathlons, they have shooting, they have all sorts of stuff that's related to how hardcore military people are, and so this just happens to take place in October 2019, I think. October, November, maybe a little earlier, maybe August, I forget. I think it's around the fall. I think it was October, but it just seems strange that both of these things happen in October. But that was held in Wuhan, China.
Huh.
So the idea might be that
it emerged worldwide, seemingly simultaneously.
Yeah,
it just sort of.
And there was no logical connection between how certain people were leaving visited China, Right. But if you have military personnel, then that's a whole other story.
If you had a convention, say, in Wuhan in October. Yeah. Where all these people were exposed to it, and then all went home.
And you know what? There's on Wikipedia, you could look this up, the World Military Games, and you could see who registered and participated. There's a list of a couple hundred different countries, I believe. Then you could see them all, charted out. And then there's a list of those that registered but didn't participate. Mm-hmm. So they registered, didn't participate, and all of those countries were exempt from cases of coronavirus.
Huh.
I think there might be, at this point, there might be one or two or a handful, but we're not talking about, it's a delayed effect.
Sure.
So
that's weird.
That's not the thing, though.
Okay, well. The mainstream media, though, is 100% behind. When I say behind, I don't mean that they're causing it. I'm saying that they're behind the idea. They're pushing it. They're pushing
the fear. Yeah.
So my sense is that this is all part of the plan, and they've said that they would rather destroy the whole system rather than allow someone to attempt to fix it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. So, if they were gonna kill all of everyone, and if they didn't have a big problem with that. The idea is that the coronavirus was supposed to be whatever this is. I don't even, who knows what the fuck this is? We're all calling it something, and it's a definition. And it's we really don't know. Have you seen it? I know that this is a microphone, I see it. I can believe it. I can believe I know this to be true, This can be a truth, right? That this is a physical microphone.
We can agree on it.
We can agree. We can't necessarily agree on something that we haven't seen yet. And it's like, that doesn't discount its existence. However, it's like, it just means that our information is incomplete. We have incomplete information. Personal information, yeah. We have collective information, and that's helpful in its own right.
The big issue is once you realize that most of the collective information is suspect, then eventually
you just have to question.
Well, as others have said, there is a runaway effect where you can end up at because there's a poll where everyone where you just accept it 100%, and then there's a poll where you won't believe a single word of anything that anyone says.
Somewhere in there is like, is this even real? Because what's in between?
Well, and I don't even know. That's not in there.
That's a different scale.
That's a different scale. That's not in there, in my view. But
so anyway, this contagion was the plan was impeachment failed, so the contagion was next up to bat. It was supposed to be the end, essentially. Okay. Like millions predicted to die from something like this. The shopped games that Event 201 did projected like 85 million people dead.
Oh, shit.
At least I might be wrong. So anyway, this virus was supposed to work, but because we have this crazy NSA and surveillance, and because we didn't realize that there's microphones and cameras fucking everywhere. It's like all of the disgustingness that people are casually bringing their phones into that room has been picked up and recorded. And perhaps that's where all these indictments, the 160,000 indictments that exist right now that are sealed still. The other side of this that's tied to the same event because of the testing for the virus is you're familiar with adrenochrome, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. You know the story? You know the deal?
I don't want to know.
Okay. So this gets into the darker spaces of the world, but I'm going to gloss over.
We got to go. Do we got to go?
Well,
we could.
We could, but I'm going to gloss over it for the time being. So the adrenochrome, it's, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas mentions it. Mm-hmm. A handful of artists have brought it up in their various works. There's documentation on it. So there's chemical plants all over the place. And that one of those crazy explosions that happened in China,
I remember
that was a chemical plant, a manufacturing plant. So who knows what the fuck they were doing there. So something was that I think was a surgical maneuver. It wasn't an accident. Obviously the story is going to be that, oh yeah, it was an accident, but everybody's okay. Over here in Philadelphia, that fire, who knows if that was something? Remember when that explosion happened?
Happened at 420.
Blaze it. Oh yeah, there's a lot that's been happening.
Nobody should listen to these conversations.
Yeah, we're just bullshitting.
Nobody should listen to this.
We highly recommend you don't listen to this.
And don't believe anything that we're saying.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.